everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. We are actually doing the Journey to CA series, of which I know you guys will love so much. If it's your first time here, my name is Zanele Maduna. I am a chartered accountant, and I'm all about empowering aspiring chartered accountants. And if you're new here, please do subscribe, like, and comment, because I know for sure you are going to love today's episode. So today I have an amazing guest. I can't wait to actually sit and chat about her journey towards becoming a chartered accountant. So without any further ado, guys, I do have Nosipho.
Yay! I'm so excited. I'm very excited to do an interview. Thank you so much for having me, Zanele. I'm so happy to be joining you today to talk about my journey towards becoming a CA. I think you would know because you and I were together in varsity, so I think we have a lot of memories to share.
Awesome. Just like what Nosipho said, I met her at VET. We're both at Jupes. So if you are from Jupes, I know you guys have been watching my videos. Do comment down and be like, give me a like for life. So Nosipho.
Yes.
Adverts, right? But when I actually asked you for some motivational quotes for our Wisdom Wednesday at Novalo Learning Center, you said something about, you are from a village, and you said, you have this nice quote of which I will read it out. But then just take us back. Just take us back to before I met you at VET. Where were you, and how did you even get to VET? How did you even decide that I'm gonna be at VET and I will study towards being a CA?
Yeah. So Zanele, I come from a small village called Gaoi in Mpumalanga province. So I'm a proud rural girl. I grew up there all my life. So I attended primary school there. I went to a school called Sopungane Combined School. So that was from grade 1 until grade 7. Funny enough, the school that I was in, my mom was actually the principal of the school that I went to. So I spent the first 7 years of my school at Sopungane Combined School. Soon after that, I got an opportunity to go to boarding school. So I went to Lowfield High School, which is located in Nelspruit. So I was in boarding school for all of my high schools, basically. So I completed matric in the year 2010. And then obviously I had to apply to go to university. Can I be honest with you and say that I never wanted to go to VET? I never wanted to go to VET, babe. Like I was so adamant about it. I didn't like VET because I always thought that VET was for the serious kids, the dedicated ones that know their life. And I've always been I've always been hip. I've always been I like my artistic side. So I thought UJ would be a perfect fit. So I applied to UJ, but I never really made it. So my only option was VET. I only got the confirmation that I was going to VET on the day of the results. So my results came out on that day, and then they confirmed I was going to VET. So it was quite shocking, but I thought, hey, maybe that's where God wants to see me. And I'm grateful that I actually went to VET because I love it.
Wow, yeah. It's so weird because most people like saying they wanted to go to VET, but they ended up going to UJ. But yours is the other way.
Let's be honest. Those UJ students are goals when you look at them from afar.
Yes.
So I wanted to do UJ. I was so adamant that I was gonna go to UJ. So that never happened. So yeah, I was accepted for accounting sciences. I think that was my first choice. Again, I'm a very decisive person. So already by grade 6, I already knew I wanted to become a chartered accountant because I'd seen this advert in grade 6. I was reading a magazine and I saw this advert of this boss lady who was jumping out of a car with a suitcase. So she's she was driving on some fancy car, right, babe, in the middle of Sandton, and she's got a driver. And someone's opening the door for her and she's stepping out. And I'm like, listen, I want to be that girl. At the bottom of the page, it says something about you too can become a chartered accountant in South Africa. I was like, what is this? I want to become it, whatever that is. So yeah, that actually shaped my dreams because already in grade 6, I knew that I was going to become a chartered accountant, and I had a goal which I then worked towards until my varsity days. So yeah, what am I forgetting?
Oh my God. that is great because grade 6 is so early. Grade 6, I didn't even know that SCA existed.
Me too,
So I
know.
love that. And I love how you spoke about the CA dream. You know, what was sold to you. And, you know, I just want people who are watching this, I want them to just pack that thought in their mind because we're going to get to, is that really what you're living now? Like, you know, are you really seeing yourself as that lady who, you know, who is being driven, who has this sort of image, right? We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about it. But then before we just get into it, who else, other than that lady inspiring you on your journey, who else? Because your mom was a principal, like big ups to people who are in education, right? So when it comes to your journey, who else gave you, you know, that nudge, that push? In as much as, yes, you are decisive, but I'm sure there were people around you who actually, you know, did something to help you to get to where you are now.
Yeah, I love that question, Z. I love it. So I come from a family of only teachers. So I was raised by a single mom. My mom is a teacher by profession. And obviously being raised by her side of the family, I was only surrounded with her side of the family. So my mom has 6 siblings, or had. Now that some of them have passed away, but all of them were teachers by profession. So growing up in an environment where education was being bred unto you really helped me a lot, because I didn't have a choice but to beat that standard or become better. So personally, from a very intimate perspective, I'd say that my mom was the one person that pushed me, because that's the only thing that I've ever seen. I mean, growing up in a village, you know, the only possibility there is to you at that point is that you need to become something, and education is the only vessel to you becoming whatever it is that you want to be. So I strongly believe that my family had a magnificent background. Also, I think you know, the rural primary school that I went to, you know, it's not your typical rural school. Like we were being instilled to be leaders. We were being at a young age already. We were being taught how to be successful, how to be educated. So I think that 7 years of my life, even though within the rurals of the rurals, has really shaped me, because we were being trained to get out of those circumstances and, you know, embrace the world and show the world what we have.
Oh my word! I really like that. I really like that. You said one thing, like you said, when it comes to your family, you know, you were raised by, you know, teachers. Your mom was a principal, and before you said this at the beginning, you said you wanted to go to UJ because of your creative side, having, you know, all of those things, right? So let's just pause there and say, so now you are raised in a family where they're like, you know, education is everything. And then you also see yourself as a person who is creative, who has some artistic capabilities. So I just want to talk about, you know, how we live in the society whereby other people try to view those things as two separate things. It's like you can either be only a creator, be in arts or something, or you can be educated, boring, and serious, right? So let's talk about how you got to a place whereby you got to actually embrace both and work with both. Is that something that you've always done, or would you say that it's only something that you only considered after you qualified? So let me just let people in. So from me knowing you, Nosipho, I always knew that you have always been one of the most fashionable people I've ever known.
Thank you.
Always been super fashionable. So like I was always inspired by your fashion. Like when you went to class, I was like, where is she going? Are we all going to class? It's like you're always going to some event, and I'm like, oh my gosh, are we really going to an accounting class? So you've always been proper fashionable. And also, I know you own a company where you're doing something creative. So we will tap on all of those things. But then just to take it from the ground up, just us knowing that you've always had the creative side, yet you are at a family where maybe they're just saying you need to be a teacher, or you need to be maybe something that is serious. You have to be sitting at an office. How were you able to take both to, you know, build yourself up?
It's so funny that you asked this, and you're like the perfect example of merging passion with what you studied. So it starts exactly how you've done it is exactly the answer that I would also give, right? So yeah, I'm gonna be very honest with you, Zanele, right? I only really started exploring my artistic side more after qualifying as a CA, because of the fact that, like you said, being raised in a family where education is the only thing that is being taught, that is being instilled in you. So I wasn't as free to explore that side, because I was pushing this mission of becoming a chartered accountant, which is something that I preach even till this day, that as much as we have passion, as much as we have things that we love, but it's not always that the things that we love will pay. So sometimes, especially coming from a background, it takes you taking a step back and saying, listen, I need to change the circumstances where I come from. And the only way I can do that for now is to work hard until I get to the point where I'm free to do whatever I want. And that was exactly my stance at it. I tried to balance here and there by, like the clothes and whatever. I tried to bring in my artistic side while I was studying, because really I needed that. It's like an injection of some sorts. It's like fueling myself. So I need that artistic side of me to fuel myself. So I told myself as a kid that I'm going to achieve this. I'm going to be educated so that I can always have something to fall back onto. I can always build reputation for myself, because it feels good to achieve. It feels good to be, what you've always dreamt of. Then once I got to the point where I felt that I was there, that I've achieved all my educational aspirations, then I started exploring my artistic side more. I started my business, which is Gene Match Lavish Gifts. Basically, what we do there is we do corporate gifting. But the beauty about it for me is the fact that I get to design something that I call a gift from scratch and present it to someone else who will see it as something different from what I thought in my head. So I'll be very honest and say my artistic side only started being explored fully after I qualified as a chartered accountant. And now I'm still learning how to merge the two together through, like you said, the arts and my love for entrepreneurship and all these other things. So it only gets real after qualification.
Awesome. I love that. I love that, because you did say pocket before passion, of which other people agree with it, other people don't, right?
Yeah.
And I like that, because last Wednesday I had a conversation with my mentee. Mm-hmm. She is in third year of articles. She's still deciding on what she wants to do, right? Mm-hmm. And she actually said to me, I said something that she never thought of, because I was like to her, you are a human being. You are a person who wants to build wealth. You want to do all of these exciting things. So whenever you are making all of these decisions, always consider the fact that it takes time to actually get to build whatever thing you have in mind.
Yeah.
Rome wasn't built in a day.
Never.
I was like to her, whichever decision you're going to take, whichever risk you're going to take, always remember that, because I really do think this is something that I'm also learning as well, because, because I also have these, creative capabilities and whatnot. Yes. I've made decisions where I'm like, actually, had I been a bit more patient here, I know that, for example, had I stayed with this job whilst I do this, then I would have saved up more or invested more, and I'll be getting that compound interest, right? So I was telling her that in as much as sometimes there is so much passion, but you also have to look at the realistic side of it and the fact that there's always patience that has to be involved. Exactly. So I really, 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 really like that.
Everything requires patience. Also, like it also requires some time for you to figure out what the passion is, because I always knew I had that side, but it took me forever to actually embrace it and capitalize on it, because even though it's innate and it's in you, sometimes you might take forever to even realize that this is a passion of mine.
And the thing is, I think what people also forget is the scale as well, right? So most of the time you'll see maybe someone blowing up on YouTube. And I'm saying this because I know you're a fellow YouTuber as well. So do check out Nosipho's channel as well. What's the name of your channel on YouTube?
My name on YouTube is Nosipho Gumede.
Awesome. So what I'm trying to say is that sometimes you'll be seeing people blowing up on YouTube, right? And then someone else is like, I'm just gonna leave my job and just do YouTube. what they don't realize is that even the growth, like the scale, in order for you to get to, doing it like very, very big on YouTube, it's gonna take time. And it needs that patience, and it needs, so many things such as consistency, really understanding your niche, really understanding what you're offering.
The investment. Yes.
Yes. Okay. So now I really do think we're gonna call this episode, I don't know, being a CA and being a creator, something like that, because I really do feel like,
I love it.
Yes, because the other time I posted something about, even if you're a CA, it's fine if you wanna be a makeup artist, it's fine if you wanna be a DJ, it's fine if you wanna do all these other things. It doesn't mean just because you are an aspiring CA, all you're looking forward to is being serious and being in an office and just all of those things. So I really, really like the fact that the people who are watching this get to experience the fact that, I'm here and you are here. And actually we are doing things that whenever someone say a CA, you wouldn't necessarily think about. This is my first episode where I'm wearing
what, Zanele? I wasn't going to reveal this now, but I might as well reveal it. I mean, we're doing it and we're talking, it looks like we're niching towards that corner. So on the 30th of October, I actually handed in my resignation at one of the big 4 firms that I was currently working for, because of that exactly. I want to not leave the CSA profession, but I'm looking at better ways of merging my CSA profession with other things that I'm passionate for, because I was finding that for me personally, corporate was boxing me a lot. I felt like I wasn't achieving as much. I felt like I wasn't where I would want to be, solely because that part of me wasn't being enriched much. So I took the brave decision to say, okay, let's try and see. It's never been done before, because I don't know out there of a CA that has actually merged art and chartered accountancy. But I took that leap of faith because I believe that there's a lot that can be done now, especially in the world that we live in of social media, YouTube, everything. So maybe, I don't know, maybe there's an article tag out there that's exactly like me, that doesn't dream to be your typical investment banker, that doesn't want to be your lecturer, that doesn't want to be like the things that we see, but wants to be something else. I wish to maybe assist in saying it's possible. I haven't done it before. I don't know what it's going to turn out to be, but certainly I don't believe that God can put you in a position where you have all these things, but can't use them together for your advantage.
I love where this conversation is going, because we started with, okay, we're just going to hear about your journey, but then now we are deep into, okay, being a creator and, being passionate about art and being a CA as well. Like how do we make both of them work? And I like the fact that you started off with saying, okay, I chose pocket before passion, and knowing that I can always fall back onto something, and knowing that I have something that is proper, tangible, and I can always turn it into whatever I want to turn it into, right? And then now you just dropped a whole bomb saying, okay, I resigned at my corporate job to actually try to merge the two, which is an interesting place to be. Because I know when I first resigned, when I was in audit, it was to go and pursue my event planning business, of which I had my ups and downs, and that didn't even succeed, right? So I just want to get into, I don't want people to hold on to the fact that my business in event planning didn't succeed, because it was for the greater good, which is where we are now. So then I just want to get into, because I know there are people who are aspiring chartered accountants, or even people who, are almost finished with training, who are thinking, corporate is not my thing. Like
you already know, and deep down you already know, hey? Deep down, let's be honest.
The other time I woke up and I said to Tulu, my partner, I was like, I said to him, sometimes I feel like my soul is caged. When you like,
you're being boxed, girl.
I was like, and like sometimes, when people don't get it, like they don't get it, but then you like, when you know, right?
You know.
Talk about let's talk about, because I know whilst you were in corporate, I think you are also studying. After qualifying, you were studying. I don't know if you're studying for your master's or whatever, but I know you were studying for something because I saw your
Yeah, I
post
was studying for my
studying for
master's.
something, right?
Yeah, I was
So
studying
let's
for my
talk
master's.
about the fact that you qualified, you were studying for your master's, and then now you are here, you have resigned. Like,
Mhm.
how did you get to be comfortable with your decision to resign? Like, how
Okay,
were there
yeah.
steps? Like, is there something where you're like, I have to, I don't know, save 10,000 so that I can resign or something? How did you
Yeah.
get to that decision?
So, we might not be able to finish everything today, but I
Yeah.
am publishing a video on my channel soon. So, if anyone's
Awesome.
interested, they can check that out.
Mm.
So, Zanetta, like I said, remember I said that straight after qualifying, I became free. I went in the search for like that treasure, you know. So, immediately after finishing my articles, I was with are we allowed to mention company names? Okay.
No, no, you are if you want to.
I'd rather not.
Yeah,
Let's not actually.
yeah, I think
I was
not.
with the firm. I was with the firm that I did my articles with, right? And then I went out to corporate because obviously after when you do your third year of articles, you almost feel like, yeah, you want to experience the corporate world. You want to get all this money that you're being sold, you know. So I went straight out and I worked for a mining company in Santon, and I worked as a management accountant. I hated it so much. I hated management accounting. I didn't last 8 years. I mean, I didn't last a year. After like 9, 8 months, I was out, and I went back to my auditing job. So I went there to work as an audit manager again. But in me going back, I knew that it wasn't gonna be long term. Honestly speaking, I was going there for two things. I was going to get experience because I felt like where I was. I don't know. Maybe we get too used to working hard in articles that when we go elsewhere and we feel like we're not working enough. We feel like there's something missing. So I went back to my auditing job, and the reason why I went there was number one to acquire the experience. In order that will assist me to start my own thing because I've always wanted to run my own business. So I went back for that. But secondly, I wanted to do secondment so badly because I think as part of that dream that I told you about in grade 6, right? As part of that dream was this idea of secondment that you get to go overseas and live a dream for free, basically. So I really wanted to do that. So I went back and I took the risk of going back into audit. And yeah, going there, I told myself that in order for me not to get too bored in that year or 2 years that I was going to be there for, I need to do something else that will just help me. And I decided to then register for my master's in entrepreneurship with this, right? So while I was doing all of these things, I felt like if I just focused on auditing alone, it was going to overwhelm me because I didn't like it per se. I don't think anyone likes audit. If there is someone that likes audit out there, big apps, they should really capitalize on that because most people that I've met in my life are not really um, they don't really like auditing that much. So I went back and while I was working, I was doing my master's and I got the opportunity to go on secondment. And I must say, like my secondment opportunity changed my life completely. Like it changed my life, and I understand why it came so late in my life. Typically you'd go on secondment when doing your third year, but for me it was only in my second year of post qualification, if I may call it. So that was last year, November, this time last year. So I went to secondment. I went to the US and I spent about 4 months there. But like, so for me, secondment wasn't just going to work overseas and acquire the experience. It was something more deep. It was like a personal intervention of some sort. It was like a spiritual upliftment, spiritual rebuilding of some sort. Because there, when I came back, I had a clearly defined goal of where I see myself, what I want to do, what it is that I believe that God has sent me here to do. That 4 months has changed my life completely. So when I came back, I had a proper plan. Hey, I still have it. I've written my plans down. I knew that I wasn't gonna finish this year in auditing. After that, I was going to start my own business. I was going to grow GenMesh, which was already in operation. I was going to finish my master's, and then I was going to do all these things that I'm passionate about, like the YouTube and like my fashion and all of that. So when I came back, I started acting on it. but I feel like the decision to go independent and outside of corporate wasn't one that was surprising for me. I mean, if the close people around me, like my husband, my mom to a certain extent, will tell you that I've always really wanted to establish my own thing and have my something that I can call my own, and most of all create employment for many people, because I mean where we come from, it's not everyone that is employed, it's not everyone that has an ideal job. So I've always just had a passion for that, and the education side of things as well. So it's just my secondment helped me to refine and plan accordingly, and start acting. So it's always been there, but there I started establishing the steps. Yo, I'm talking to my
I love no. That's why I have you here, so that I can listen to you. Really, that's why I have you here, and I love everything that you said, because like I said this, like I said this on my Instagram as well, where I said, solitude brings some clarity.
Yeah, time and isolation.
And I get that so much, because like I feel like our journeys are quite similar, because when I went on secondment,
I have to say this. Do you know that me and you have a lot in common? I always think, this girl, she's me, I'm her.
we are, because even me, when I went to Dublin, Ireland for my 3 months secondment, that's where I got so much clarity, because like even me, for me, it was that spiritual, like it was beyond just being at another country, other people just working there.
Exactly.
And like it brought so much clarity, like so much clarity. And I love what you said when you said when you left to the plan and you started acting on it. And like, because I think sometimes, because we are artists and like like you feeling caged and all of that, sometimes we are tempted to just do something without a plan and be like, it's gonna work out because I know I can make it work. But I like how you had a plan and you're like, okay, I'm gonna put this here, I'm gonna put this here. And in actually speaking about having a plan, I like how your plan is also linked to the impact that that you stand for. You spoke about job creation, of which I'm also super passionate about, because that's the thing. Like sometimes we really have to remember that we are those people. Like we are those people who are called out to lead and create the jobs. And in us denying that role, we are actually doing so many people, a disservice, because we denying the fact that actually I can do this, right? So I really, really, really love it. Yes,
so, I always say, when you go back home and they ask you what you're doing, and you tell them, oh, I'm a CA. Oh, you're a CA, and then all of a sudden the environment changes. For me, that always fits me, because most of the times the people that are asking me what I do, the minute I tell them what I do, it's like some sort of expectation. They expect it's not right, but they sort of expect you to do something. They expect some movement from you. So it always bugs me that here's a world where I come from that perceives me in this way, and yet I can't do anything. I'm sitting in Joburg in a big corporate building, probably owning something or whatever, but still I'm not able to give back where I come from. For me, that has always been a thing. I couldn't sleep at night when thinking about
I agree. And I really, really do think we are going to have a part 2 interview, because I see that there's a lot I really, really want to unpack. But then on that, just to dive on that, when you're saying, you've been thinking about your impact and actually what you can do. I think you and your husband have started like a foundation or something like that. So please do tell us about what you do when it comes to, going back to the rural areas or the townships. What do you do with your husband?
Oh, great. So my husband started an institution called Time, Focus, and Obedience. So I co-founded it. So he's the founder. He's like the brand of TFO. So TFO is a short of Time, Focus, and Obedience. So basically, it's not really an NGO, but we do have an NGO leg of it. So it aims to empower and just assist people, especially from disadvantaged backgrounds, to master the art of personal mastery. So learning how to be yourself, how to become confident. Because, girl, I suffered a lot from self-confidence, especially moving from villages to, the town and eventually Johannesburg. So we are trying to just motivate them, to keep them inspired, to help them realize the full potential at a very early age, so that when they face the challenges of life, moving up to varsity, moving up to the work environment, they're very equipped. Because I feel like maybe you can relate to this, and I don't know how your article's experience was, but I felt deeply that when I got to my articles, I had a lot of self-doubts, and that affected my productivity, if I may call it. And I couldn't give the world the real me. I couldn't give the world all that I have, because of all these forces that come and they attack your self-esteem. So I think if we build so if we build our young ones, especially from that perspective of knowing who they are, knowing what they stand for, knowing that they can do and achieve and be whatever they want to be, then we've mastered it all, because it all starts in the mind. That's all we
It
teach.
does.
It
It
all
does.
starts in the mind. Yeah.
It does. Like, I really, really, really like that. And just to say on that point, when you're talking about self-esteem in articles as well, that is one of the reasons I actually decided to study and be certified as a coach, so that I can be a student and a career coach.
Oh wow!
No, I'm not a life coach. So I, via UCT, I did executive and management coaching. So yeah, I'm certified as an executive and management coach. But then with those skills and my experience as a lecturer as well, I've coupled that, and I'm a student as well as career coach for aspiring chartered accountants. And that was like
I'm so proud of you.
No, thank you. And that was my reason for doing that, because of that self-esteem. When it gets knocked, you get into corporate and you're like, you were out there, you were at vet, you were passing and you're doing all of these things. And then you get there and you feel like you are shrinking, and you're like, but this is not me. Like this is why am I feeling like this? And that is why I'm super, super passionate about career coaching for aspiring chartered accountants, because I'm like, no, we do have a voice, like the things that you just mentioned, personal mastery and all that, because the moment you understand yourself and the moment you understand that there's nothing wrong with me, it's just that this is a different environment, and if I can use my strengths and actually, turn it, because corporate is a proper game.
It's all about the environment that you're in, not supporting who you are. And I think I love the work that Novalo does, because it attacks those issues. When we did our articles, nobody was there to tell us. Nobody was there to coach us. So, like, if you're out there and you're a third-year student, even if you're in matric, still a student in high school, you need to stay close to all these institutions that are about to build you as a person, outside of just learning about your IFRS and all of that other things.
I agree. And that's why I really, really like what you've done with your husband. So let's just put it all together, because I feel like this is the first interview where like there's a lot. Like, we can take the whole day, because yeah. So let me just put it together for everyone who's been listening, and then let's just set how we going to actually conclude it on the points that I really, really do think someone who's watching this can have, big takeaways. So we started with your background, where you told us that you actually from the rural area, and look at you now, right? And we spoke about your challenge between education as well as being a creator, and the whole thing of like now you are a CA and you have this burning desire to create more art, to do all of these other exciting things, and how you are navigating around that. And then we went on and we spoke about the fact that in you battling with, corporate creativity and everything, you actually got to a point whereby you formed a plan around how you're going to exit corporate and actually do what sets your soul on fire. And you actually spoke about a very important thing, which is the fact that secondment did so much for you. And we repeated that, Solitude can do a lot for you, because it gets you to that point where you can really dig deep down and actually find yourself. And then now we were just wrapping up on the fact that as CAs, we actually stand for something. There's always, we want to create some impact. And I love how you actually doing all of these. So in wrapping up everything that we've spoken about, because I know this conversation is so nice, people might forget that they're like, away from this conversation. But then I just want to get back to what you said when you said that you were at a rural school, and actually if there's anything that you're grateful for, is the fact that they instilled those leadership capabilities. Like it was all about you are meant to be leaders, you are meant to do great. Because I feel like, especially at home, when people think rural areas, when people think townships, they're already thinking the education system is not working, like people who are there won't amount to nothing or anything like that. So I really like the fact that you're like, you know what, when it comes to our school, like that's where I saw that, actually I am a leader and actually I can do something. So let's talk about how that was done. Like how is it that at a primary school you got to be aware of, even what leadership is, and how, or maybe even when you looked back, how were you able to look back and say, actually, when we did this and this and this was actually preparing me to be the leader that I am today. Let's just step into that, because I thought that was like so cool. Yeah.
It's really cool. When I think about all of those things that used to happen then, that's when I only realize now how magnificent the impact of my primary school had on me. So can I just say this, right? The name of the school is Topungane Combined School, right? And it's in the deep rurals, right? But while we're there at school, the only medium of communication was English. So let's just start there. We only communicated in English. Whether you're speaking with your friends, whether you're speaking with the teacher, it was strictly English. So that, I think, built a lot of confidence, number one. But let's just talk about the vocab as a rural girl or as a rural boy who is being raised in the villages. That was just one thing that was perfection from it. So I think the other thing was just the quality of the education that was being produced in that school. So it was a combined school, was from grade 1 to grade 12. The first batch of matriculants, I think, were in around 2005, 2006, no, I'm lying. It was around 2003. So after that, for 5 consecutive years, the school continued to produce 100% pass rates. So like that just, I'm telling you, in the rurals of Mpumalanga, we're like top, and our students were in the top 10 provincial. So I'm really proud to say that out of my education experience, or I don't know what to call it, this for me really shaped the person that I am, because growing up in a school, you're in grade 1, you're in grade 2, you're in the rurals, but you're seeing someone in matric who is being called by the province to be celebrated because they achieved so much. That actually built you, and it motivated you all the time. It made sure that you remain top all the time. So I really enjoyed that. And I'm gonna be a little biased and say that my mom is a beast. Like my mom is a super beast.
You gotta give credit where it's due. You gotta give credit where it's due.
No, like I'm being for real. I still say till this day, maybe I haven't done enough to celebrate her as a career woman, because I think her leadership skills are insane. She's very strict. She's one of those very strict mothers, one of those very strict Christian mothers. But like, listen, she knows how to build character, and that's one thing that not only I, as her daughter, has learned from her, but the community as a whole. I think today most of those children that matriculated from Sopungane are like very successful. You have your engineers, you have your nurses, you have all those people, and they too always say that had we not been built like this, had our foundation in education not been so strong, we probably wouldn't be where we are today. So I think that has really helped me. That has changed my life.
Awesome. This is awesome, because you did highlight, like the vocab as well as the quality of the education and the leadership, right? So most of the times what people say is that what we learn mostly from our parents is not what they tell us, but it's what they do. We learn what they do. So is there any particular thing that your mom always did that you felt like, you learned a lot by just watching her do it? Is there anything that you that maybe you can think of and share?
Oh, I want to twist your question a bit. So one thing that I've learned, right, that has really helped me is the work ethic, because she works. she works. As much as she may be gifted and she may be called to be a leader, because I believe some leaders are called, but she's got a very strong work ethic, and that I drew from her. A part that I'm glad I don't have, which I have, is then the artistic side that we spoke about, because I don't think she's into these soft things that I have. So I think for me, merging that side with her, her work ethic and all those principles um, that she instilled in me growing up has really helped me in merging and defining my own character to be not exactly like her, but to be my version of maybe what I saw in her. Yeah.
Awesome, awesome.
Yeah.
This is great. So just for us to get to the last part of this interview, because I know we can definitely take the whole day. Let's talk about, because yes, you were from the rural areas. You didn't make it to UJ. Then you got to meet us and dress.
And I went to
I'm
study with
grateful
the
for.
nerds like you guys.
Yes. And then straight after this, you went to the Big Four, you trained, and then you went into corporate, mining, management accountant, hated it, went back to audit, and now you're about to leave audit to do your own thing. Let's talk about the vision you have for your own thing. Let's
Yeah.
just talk about, what you're trying to do. And because clearly, you can see it clearly, if you took that bold move to hand in your resignation, then that means you know that you're actually standing for something, and there's a particular vision that you're trying to, drive. So let us know, what are you working towards, and most importantly, what can we do? Like people like Zanella, what can we do to actually help you, to support you? Because we love seeing women win. So let us know what you're trying to do, and how can we help you. And when it comes to your platforms such as YouTube and all of that, the type of people that you're trying to help, and how can they support you as well.
Oh, nice. So, Zanele, where I'm standing now, right? Okay, so I've already spoken about Gene Mash, which is a gifting company that I run. The handle on Instagram is called @GeneMash Lavish. That's just something that's always been there. But from a more professional side, and I like to speak about this in this platform, because that's the next thing I'm going to talk about is me using my CASA. So I've started a consulting company called Accompreneurs. Still a new baby. I haven't even launched yet, but it's launching very soon. I'll hand out the details on my personal social media accounts. But basically, what it aims to do is to support small, medium-sized enterprises across South Africa from an accounting perspective and overall as a business perspective. So the reason why I decided to do this, is because I'm trying to merge my love for developing and my CSA. So I'm using my master's. I studied my master's in entrepreneurship and new venture creation. So through this, then I plan to help develop small enterprises. I plan to help them with their accounting services and whatever other consultation and advisory work that may come out of it. But also, I think I'll be also banking a lot on social media for the education part of it, because I plan to educate small businesses from like the smallest detail that we think SCAs is not important, but like your typical business person needs to know about it. Something as simple as creating an invoice and all of that type of things that we think are basic, but like your your young person who just started a business doesn't have that knowledge. So I plan to use my social media to capitalize and develop young businesses from that perspective, not necessarily to make money, but to help grow the economy, to help any Black child out there who's trying to start their business but doesn't know where to start. So that's going to be what Accountpreneurs does. So that's more from a professional side of things. I've mentioned GenMash, and there's also TFO that on the side that we are working very closely with. So that's also on the development side of things, but more from a personal level and not really from a business perspective. So yeah, I'm still on YouTube. I love creating content. So I'll be creating a lot of videos, even outside of just work. I think my YouTube channel has these days. I'll call it these days because I'm not sure if that's what it's supposed to do. But it's been lining more on the relationship side of things. So I've just been following from what my audience liked, and I've just been producing content based on that. But also my YouTube channel plans to develop people, be it whatever sphere of your life, be it personal mastery, be it relationships, be it entrepreneurship, and anything like that. So that's what I'll be busy with. I hope that's enough to help me spend 8 hours a day on my laptop.
That is a lot. Like, actually, I'm just gonna propose now, and you let me know if you're interested. That when it comes to our second video, I'm already inviting you for another video.
Let it be, baby. I told you I have time.
Yes, can we just talk about, because I see you doing wonderful things, many things, and you know, I'm also doing so many things as well.
And I just wonder how you do it.
I actually want us to have a video where we talk about how we do it. Like, I really do think it can help someone when it comes to, you know, being a creator and just, you know, being passionate about, you know, creating all of this impact. And even when you have a corporate job, because I still have a corporate job as well. And even you, like, running the consulting company, that's like the whole corporate on its own, even though you are now the CEO. So I'm proposing that for our second interview, you know, we talk about when you are an aspiring CA, but you have all of these other things that you're interested in. How do you actually manage your time? How do you manage your attention so that you ensure that you can build them up and actually make something out of them, right? So that's what I'm proposing.
I'm game, babe. And actually, it's not just for the next video, but I think you and I should work together more, because I was actually telling some of our students that we see for Tier 4 that they should follow your page and they should follow you on YouTube, because there's a lot of the kids that want to do the CA stream, but they don't know how. And all of this information that you share from a YouTube perspective and also on No Value can really help a young person somewhere out there. So it's a long-term relationship, babe.
Yes, for sure. And I'm excited. I'm super excited. Thank you, Nosipho. So people who are here, they'll definitely see you again. And I hope you'll also invite me on your channel as well.
You are coming, babe. You are coming. You are coming very soon to tell your success story, because I think you're doing very well for a young Black girl who comes from like not so nice circumstances. So I think you have a very, very nice story to share. You'll be coming to the channel very soon.
Awesome. Thank you, Nosipho. So for everyone, I will link Nosipho's details down below. I will link your YouTube channel, I'll link your Instagram, your LinkedIn, all the nice things, and they can come follow you, ask you more questions, and just follow your journey. Just follow your lovely journey, because I also love the videos that you do with your husband as well, because people have to be our, like, things such as, you know, the Black love, like just seeing a young couple also making it as well. Right. That's something that the young people have to see, that, you know, it can happen.
It's
so
possible.
I'm also like a proper fan of everything that you do. So this was lovely. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. And I will see you on my other video. Bye. Stop.
You stop recording.